date is 1 April 1815. In an estate west of Berlin named Schondhausen, a child is born. That child would become the figure that not only single-handedly dominated the government of Prussia, but made the nightmares of every European monarch come to fruition. He molded the 39 German states into a unified power so formidable that it would reshape the world we live in today. This child will one day be known as Otto von Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor. A sixth-generation Junker, Bismarck received a good education in Berlin, the heartland of the Prussian domain. In 1847, Bismarck was named a delegate to the Prussian Parliament due to his noble status. From that point, Bismarck set his sights on accumulating power, and went about doing just that. He steadily ascended the government's chain of command, taking advantage of myriad opportunities as they presented themselves. In 1862, Bismarck gave the most important speech of his career.
Es ist nicht durch Reden und Majoritätsbeschlüsse, dass die großen Fragen der Zeit entschieden. Das ist der große Fehler von 1848, von 1849, sondern durch Eisen und Blut. Danke.
After refining his approach, Bismarck initiated the process of uniting the Germanic people under one flag. In 1863, a territorial dispute developed over two relatively small kingdoms, Schleswig and Holstein. King Christian IX had succeeded Ferdinand VII as King of Denmark. By the London Protocol, one kingdom was to go to Christian, and the other to the Germanic house of Augustenburg. Christian instead laid claim to both, and Bismarck pounced upon this opportunity to flex Prussia's might and expand its prominence.
Jetzt!
Calling for Austrian Emperor Franz Joseph's help, Bismarck merged Prussia and Austria's military might, uniting the largest Germanic states of Europe into a single military entity. However, after winning the war against Denmark, another dispute arose, this time between Germany and Austria, over the administration of the conquered provinces. Another war was the consequence. Bismarck led Prussia to not only defeat Denmark, but to also crush the mighty Austria in just 7 weeks. He had effectively closed the Habsburgs out of the new state he planned to forge. He did, however, make the surrender terms lenient, despite the insistences to the contrary from other Prussian officials. Bismarck was able to foresee that he would need to be on good terms with Franz Joseph in the near future. However, as tremendous as this victory was for Prussia and its allied states, it would take further effort to finally secure those states' allegiance to the concept of a unified Germany. In 1870, Bismarck intercepted a telegram regarding Wilhelm I of Prussia and France's Prussian ambassador. It described a brief and polite encounter in which the French had asked the Hohenzollerns in good faith to not attempt to lay claim to the vacant Spanish throne so as not to upset the present balance of power in Europe. Wilhelm pleasantly agreed, and the matter was thought resolved. As was so often the case, Otto von Bismarck had other plans. Bismarck's altered telegram provoked France into a pitched war with not just Prussia, but with all the German states that had up to that point abstained from a full commitment to a united Germany. In just 4 months, a unified Germany demolished France, the mightiest power in the entire world. Now, the ever-calculating Bismarck had just one more loose end to resolve.
Lang lebe seine Majestäts Kaiser Wilhelm!
Bismarck used the impetus of the Franco-Prussian War's alliances to finally proclaim a unified German state. Modern Germany had been forged. Now, at the height of his power, Bismarck continued his political machinations by building a solid firewall in Europe so that war could never break out in such magnitude as to threaten Germany's greatness. With France harboring an intense grudge and rapidly rebuilding its military might, as well as clamoring over the declining Ottoman Empire's territories, Bismarck, using masterful diplomacy, forged practically impenetrable alliances with Austria, Italy, Russia, and others, only breaking them if it favored the balance of power more than retaining them did. Bismarck had created the greatest nation the world had seen in years. However, its internal politics were not as stable as its military complex and economy. Since the Reformation, each German state had adopted and bickered over their own denomination of Christianity. Some states were Protestant, some were Catholic. Using his trademark Machiavellian doctrine of realpolitik, Bismarck did not want the Vatican to have sway over his government, especially with a restless Polish minority in his dominion. Thus he sought to separate the Catholic Church and state from politics and education.
Meine Arbeit will noch nicht stoppen! Was? Meine Vier ist nein!
Nunc, expectat, tempum partum, conlimitatum.
Bismarck's Kulturkampf, or attack on the Catholic Church in Germany, but predominantly Prussia, encouraged German Catholics to effectively organize themselves and pledge strong allegiance toward the pro-Catholic Center Party. Bismarck, characteristically refusing to back down, jailed or exiled anyone even suspected of harboring sympathies for these enemies of the state, as he called them. However, secularists and socialists alike were seizing this opportunity to attack all religions. This led to conservatives also aligning themselves with the Central Party and creating a very large majority in the German political system. Bismarck, even more disdainful towards socialism than Catholicism, needed to ally himself with this new center party in order to contain the socialist threat and hold on to his own power. Upon the death of Pope Pius IX in 1878, Leo XIII took his place, albeit with much less of a hardline policy. After thorough negotiations, Bismarck and Pope Leo reached compromise in 1887. After 16 years of persecution, Catholicism was permitted in Germany, but not in any state or education-related matters. The ever-resourceful Bismarck once again transformed what seemed to be a reversal of fortune into triumph. Although the Kulturkampf had made some Germans disillusioned with his iron grip over the state, Bismarck's true fall from power would come about a few years later. After Wilhelm I's death in 1888, his son, Friedrich III, ascended to the throne. Even more passive than his father, Friedrich died of sickness just 99 days after receiving the crown. His son and heir, Wilhelm II, was the exact opposite of his father: proud, militaristic, and aggressive. Wilhelm constantly butted heads with Bismarck over state matters. One large-scale miners' strike gave Bismarck an opportunity to first violently crush these socialist strikers, then use that momentum to push anti-socialist legislation through Parliament. However, this gambit severely exacerbated the rift between Wilhelm and Bismarck.
See? Fighting for mich. Wer bist dich?
Wilhelm wanted to aid the striking miners in order to show his dominance both over big business and over his strong-willed chancellor. Using the might of his position as emperor, Wilhelm summarily dismissed Bismarck as chancellor in 1890. Once removed from power, Bismarck's health began a slow but inexorable march to his demise. Refusing treatment for a bout of gangrene, the infection spread to the rest of his body, robbing him of his ability to walk and, in time, to live. Otto von Bismarck died in 1898, still in his mind the unbridled Iron Chancellor. His sarcophagus reads, "A loyal German servant of Emperor Wilhelm I." The epitaph pointedly excludes mention of Wilhelm II.
It looks like shit.
What are you doing? I don't get it.
The flag is fixed. Don't do it with the flag fixed like that. That's retarded.
Okay, then I'll edit it.
How does it feel to be Christian at night?
It's been all my dreams coming true.
Was it really?
Yeah. What I always wanted to be.
You always wanted to be Christian in life.
Yes.
Very awesome to hear.
What do I even grab?
Otto, I got a question for you. So, how do you feel about having this major motion picture made by you, like made around your life?
Well, I think it's about time the story of the Germanic people's unification came to the big screen. Honestly, I think a lot of misconceptions about Germany's warlike nature have been put into the media, into common history books. So I think that a movie like this will really clarify why Germany went through so much militarization in the 18th, 19th, 20th centuries.
Stage crew.
I'll get this fucking flag high. It's the last goddamn thing I do.
Now, you know, people say that my win rate with techies is low, but they don't know shit, because it's actually almost 45%.
He can't even lie. Kaiser Wilhelm II, I gotta ask you a question here. What do you think about techies? Come back here. What do you think about techies?
My brother is living in an alternate reality where he thinks the opposite of what actually is happening. Does that make sense? It's kind of hard to explain.
Do you really think katanas are the best swords?
I do watch a lot of anime, and from my expertise, my experience just watching all these shows, I'd probably say yeah, because you see all of the